Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Hey, so we've got the new season, Dragon Siege here. And the number one question I've gotten so far is, hey, how do I get started with this Thunderdrake? That's the new war pet for the new KVK, the new season-specific mechanic. And so I thought I'd do a quick tutorial video of how to get started, basically how you don't screw up the first couple days, right? So the first thing you do, you've probably done it already, you enter the KVK. And as soon as you enter the KVK, right after the screen loading here, we're going to get stuck in a pretty long, pretty annoying intro video to the season. There's no way through this. I don't think there's any way to skip it. So you just kind of sit back and let it happen. Okay, when you finally get through that, intro video, Chaksha will automatically pop up in your city. He'll tell you about the new Thunderdrake. Here's the little guy here. And then the game will prompt you to go to your Warped setting where the Thunderdrake is. You see you automatically acquire it, right? The Thunderdrake is an automatic 8-slot legendary pet that you have in your city. And the most important thing that you need to know about this war pet is it can be customized to be whatever you want it to be other than flying, right? So it is ground-based, but other than that, it can be an infantry pet, it can be an archer pet, it can be a mage pet, whatever. But you got to decide what you want. Okay, so the game will automatically prompt you to send it to Bravos. And I want before I do that, I want you to take a look at the top right here. You can see I got 20 out of 20 of these paw things. These are your travel tokens. These are the main currency you're going to have with the Thunderdrake in order to go on these little adventures, right? And so I have to go to Bravos here, and it's going to make me spend 10 travel tokens to go to Bravos, okay? Now, the first time you go to any zone, it's going to give you a little dilemma that pops up that allows you to increase the stats of your pet, but basically you have to choose one stat that you want to increase. Okay. The main thing you got to decide is how you're going to customize your war pet, okay? Because right away, you're going to have to make these decisions on what stats you want to increase, okay? Now you can see here I got 4 choices. I can either increase my endurance, my spirit, my intelligence, or my luck. Okay, after I choose this, I'm going to go through like the other 9 encounters I have in this zone. And the thing is, the game is hard scripted that I'm always going to get 1 rare drop on my first, in 10 encounters, so it can tell me what to do next, right? And so as I go through these, you see what I get. Mostly it's sort of common stuff, but I've got a couple rare drops. And when we get to the end of these encounters, you'll see what happens next. Okay, I got to the end here. This is what I picked up, some super fruit, 1 draconic rage. You're always going to get these rare drops, so the game can tell you what to do next. It is possible to get additional rare drops here, but you can see I wasn't lucky on this pull. Okay, so then it goes back to my city. Chaksha talks to me again and says, hey, we got pet fruit. Let's go through feeding the Thunderdrake a pet fruit here. Okay, and so, it prompts me to do this. It prompts me to use the war fruit here. And you get these super fruits that only work for the Thunderdrake. They are additional rare drops you can find in various zones. You can see I have 3 here, but I've got to feed 1 right now. And it's got selected to strength. If I want to go to something else, no, it doesn't work. So I have to increase my strength by 1 skill point. It just is what it is. There's no way around it. The other thing it's going to make me do, it's going to make me add the skill card that I just got, Draconic Rage. But not the greatest skill ever. And you think, hey, it kind of sucks to waste a skill here. But here's the thing, right? You're going to get all these skill cards for the Thunderdrake anyway. And so you're not really wasting it because you can't use it on anything else. And so you just put it on there now, but eventually you're going to get these other skill cards. And if you don't like it, replace it, whatever. So it does sort of essentially force you to waste that 1 skill card, but it's not a big loss because you couldn't use it anywhere else anyway. Okay. Okay, now I'm back in my little enclosure here, and I can click on my Thunderdrake, and when you click on him, these little paw icons will pop up, and I'll click on that, right? So remember I had 20 before, now I only have 10 out of 20. And the one sort of thing you want to make sure is you don't get capped on this. You're going to generate a number of these paw tokens every day. You want to make sure you always have enough room, essentially, to generate as many as you can, okay? By default, you generate 5 a day. Through policies, we'll talk about that a little bit later on, you can get up to 10 a day. So long as you're at 10 out of 20 or lower, you're not going to waste paw generations. Okay, so here's the map here. You can see most of these areas are grayed out because this KVK has just started. So the only zones open right now are sort of the level 1 starting zones, okay? I've got Bravos, and you can see I got 3 hits there, which means I found 3 out of the 5 rare drops. So we click on that, and I still have these 2 that I need to find, but I found these 3. The other thing I want you to look at here is Fantastic Encounter. That's the sort of the attribute boost I've got. Every one of these has one Fantastic Encounter, and as soon as you do like the zone, you're going to get the Fantastic Encounter, and you won't get it again. Okay, so we'll take a look by comparison to the other zones that I can go in right here. Fantastic Encounter is 0 out of 1, and sort of the other 5 rare drops. You can see I've got none of those so far. Okay. Now, if you've decided what you want your Thunderdrake to be, what you need to do at that point is go to every zone you can go to at least one time, so you can get the attribute boost for that war pet that's that's appropriate for the type of pet you're building. Okay, here's the season policies, for this season. There are 2 things specifically related to the Thunderdrake. The first is Incredible Journeys. This increases the number of tokens you generate on a daily basis. Like I said, you start as a default of 5. When you max this out, you get an additional 5, so 10 a day. So if on the token page you're at 10 of 20 or lower, you're fine. But once you have this maxed out, you got to at least spend down to 10 every day, okay? And this is pretty easy to max out. On my main account, I've already maxed this out on day 1 of the KVK without much difficulty. You can certainly max it out by day 2 without any problem. You're going to have to get Chain of Command and Spread the Word and Military Expansion all to at least 8 out of 10 to max this guy out. But like I said, that's not too tough to do. It is very early on in the tree. The other thing that's relevant to your Thunderdrake is the Joyful Surprises over here. This increases the chance of the rare drops whenever you go on a journey. This thing is good to max out, but it is like substantially farther on. You're going to have to get a lot of these skills up like pretty high, like counter infantry, counter marksman, or whatever. Have to be 10 out of 15 to essentially get this as high as you want, to get this as, 8 out of 10 or whatever. So get this up as you can, but it is going to take some time to get enough prestige, to get enough policies researched to get this guy up. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. And until next time, you stay classy, Belleron.